In this video, we are going to solve the following problem. So Cody has asked us to do some analysis on a potential investment of $500,000. He would like to invest in two stocks. It's Disney and Verizon. So DIS is the ticker for Disney, VZ is the ticker for Verizon. The expected return for Disney is 7%. I'm going to put these into my spreadsheet. This expected return for Verizon is 8%. The standard deviation of Disney returns is 10%. Standard deviation of Verizon returns is 30%. And the correlation between the returns on both of these stocks is 5%. And we're investing $500,000. Okay, so we have a bunch of questions. We're going to make some assumptions about these stock returns. So we're assuming that both stock returns are normally distributed. And one of the implications, which we will come to when we look at the quartiles, is that a portfolio of these two stocks will also have returns that are normally distributed. Okay, so the first question is, if he invests his entire amount in Disney, what's the probability that he ends up with more than $480,000? So $480,000. We use the Excel function norm.dist. Now the Excel function norm.dist, called the cumulative normal function, will return the probability of being below this amount. So we need to do 1 minus norm.dist to get the probability above. Okay, so the level is $480,000. The mean of our distribution is $500,000 times 1 plus the Disney expected return. The standard deviation is $500,000 times the Disney standard deviation. And then norm.dist, to get the cumulative distribution function, we have to end with true. So the probability above is 86.43%, which is how we want to write our answer. All right, so we want Verizon. I'll get the wrong ticker here. So VZ, let's just fix that in our spreadsheet. Make things look a little better. Okay, so Verizon, we want to end up with less. We want to know the probability of ending up with less than $505,000. So that's just norm.dist. $505,000. The expected amount of our investment is $500,000 times 1 plus the Verizon expected return. And the expected standard deviation is $500,000 times the Verizon standard deviation. Again, that last parameter is true. So 40.78. So in the first part, we think we have an 86.43% chance. If we make this investment right now, $500,000 in Disney, we have an 86% chance of ending up with more than $480,000 in a year. If we do the entire investment in Verizon, we have a 40.78% chance that we end up with less than $505,000. On average, in the second one, for example, we expect to end up with a return of 8%. So 8% of $500,000, let's just do this calculation, $500,000 times 0.08, $40,000. We expect to have $540,000 in a year if we invested everything in Verizon. Okay, so the last part, we're going to divide up this money. We're going to put 40% of it into Disney, 60% in Verizon. So it's 40% in Disney, 1 minus 40% in Verizon. We want to find our quartiles. We're going to use norm.inv because our portfolio is normally distributed, but we need the expected return and standard deviation of returns. The expected return is simply weight 1 times expected return 1 plus weight 2 times expected return 2. This we expect to make 7.6%. The standard deviation is a little more complicated. It's the square root of weight 1 squared times standard deviation 1 squared plus weight 2 squared times standard deviation 2 squared plus 2 times weight 1 times weight 2 times standard deviation 1 times standard deviation 2 times correlation. (18.63%). We have our expected return, we have our standard deviation of returns. Quartile 1 is norm.inv, the inverse normal function, the inverse cumulative normal function. 0.25, the mean, which is $500,000 times 1 plus 7.6%. The standard deviation, which is $500,000 times 18.63%. 475,160. Take the same formula, I just copied and pasted the formula, change it to 0.75. So if we put 40% into Disney, 60% into Verizon, we have an expected return for this portfolio of 7.6%, standard deviation of returns for this portfolio of 18.63%. 25% of the time we end up with less than $475,000. 25% of the time we end up with more than $600,000. So the first quartile, 475,160. Third quartile, 600,840. Moment of truth, let's submit that. We've got everything correct. I hope that was helpful.